So today we're going to have staff members from our offices answer questions that have been submitted by students, and we're going to give you guys a little rundown of some things that are going on at IAU as well. I'd like to thank our IAU staff members for being here. Good afternoon, everybody, and I hope you're ready to give some information to these students. I'd like to thank the students who RSVP'd and submitted questions. We always appreciate to give feedback to the students whenever we can. All right, so we'll get right into it. Martine from our Office of Career Services will be the first to help us out today. Martine, welcome. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Jordan. How are you doing today?
Pretty good. Oh yeah, guys, just so you know, there will be a recording emailed of this to you in the days following the event. So look out for a link to our YouTube channel that will have a recording of this whole video, just in case you miss anything or want to go back. All right, Martine. So you work with our Office of Career Services, and we have two questions for you on the form that we sent to the student. The first question sent from a student is, how do you assist students in OPT?
Okay, so for that question, yes, we do assist our students with applying for OPT. One of the things that we do is we provide you with a list of documents, supporting documents to be exact, that you need to provide with, along with your I-765, as well as with your OPT recommended I-20, okay? The other thing that we do as well is we set up appointments via Google Meets, so you can meet with us video chat or video conference to go over these documents and also anything else pertaining to OPT. And if you have any more questions, you feel free to fill out the Career Services inquiry form. If you have any more questions or anything else that you're anxious about, or anything that that you want to know about OPT in particular, okay? Oh, but also keep in mind too, before you can start applying for OPT, make sure that you petition for graduation, okay?
Awesome. Thank you, Martine. And also, since this is a live Q&A session, we can get the link up to the CSV inquiry form in the chat, but you can also feel free to ask questions in the chat. So if anything pops up in your mind after Martine answers your question, or after another staff member in this Q&A session answers your questions, feel free to follow up question in the chat, and we'll get back to that as soon as we can. All right, Martine, I think we've got one more question for you. Let's see. So this question says, this would be my last semester, and as far as I'm concerned, I only have one elective subject left, and the CPT requirement as well. Are there any support from the school that will basically help me find companies who can employ me for the CPT program?
Yes, so in your case, we can provide you with a list of employers that are looking for employees, people to come by and work for the company, okay? We call it our job search engine tool. Now, the other thing too, if you're not having any luck in getting a job or getting contracted for one, and let's say 3 weeks have passed by in your last session before you can graduate, you can contact Career Services for the possibility of entering for us at our school, okay? But we're gonna have you intern remotely from home, all right? We do have a couple assignments and any projects that need to be done, so we're happy to bring you on board, okay? But keep in mind, first, try to look for a job first, and then if 3 weeks have passed by and no luck at all, contact us and we'll bring you on board, okay? And we only keep this reserved for students who are nearing graduation and had no luck in getting a job for CPT.
All right, Martine. So this question does have a follow-up, and is
okay.
How many hours are allowed to work under the CPT program?
So hours. When it comes to part-time CPT, it's 20 hours per week. Full-time, more than 40 hours per week. So you can do 40 hours when it comes to full-time.
All right, so 40 hours. Students with CPT authorization will be authorized for 40 hours a week.
No. So it'll be part-time CPT, 20 hours per week. And if it's full-time CPT, it could be more than 40 hours, but the max will be 40. But
okay.
We normally allow students to only do part-time CPT during mandatory terms, spring and fall. And then when it comes to summer, they can do full-time unless it's their first term when they start the program.
All right. Sounds good, Martine. And if you have any follow-up questions, I know that can be confusing. There's a lot of different rules to these USCIS policies. David Morgan, our staff member from the Office of Student Services, just put up the Career Service inquiry form in the chat, so you can look out for that. There's also a couple other helpful links there as well. Okay, guys, so Martine is going to be hopping off. He'll stay here if you have any other career service questions about OPT or CPT or work authorization. So ask them in the chat and we can get them back. But for now, we're going to move on to our Office of Student Services. And we're going to have Eliselda from our Office of Student Services, or I'm sorry, our Office of Student Support. And Eliselda Gonzalez is going to answer our question for them. And that question is going to be, can I shift from ASB program into the MBA program? Can I shift from ASBA program to MBA program? Sorry, I got a message right when I started to read that. Go ahead.
No worries. Hi, everyone. So for this question, students are only allowed to change their program within the first term that they are admitted to that program. However, if you have already completed more than one term, you are no longer allowed to switch programs. You are required to complete that program before you can start applying to a different program. So basically graduate from the ASBA program in order to then after graduation, begin your application process to the MBA program if you're still interested, or any other program at IAU.
All right, so there is a follow-up for this question as well. How do I qualify? Did you, I know you touched upon that a little bit, but is there anything else?
Yeah, just basically it's only available as an option for students in their first term because we understand it might take a term for you to more or less get a feel for the program, see if it's something that meets, you know, your needs at the time. But if it's beyond one term, unfortunately, you're no longer allowed to change your program. So you would only qualify if it's your first term.
All right. Thank you, Ellie. And again, if you have any other questions for Ellie or our Office of Student Support, throw them in the chat and we can bring Ellie right back here. Thank you very much, Ellie. And so I said at the beginning that we'd be going over a couple other topics of some happenings at IAU, some current events that you guys might want to be informed of. The first of which that we're going to discuss are some new concentrations that we're going to have. We will be adding some concentrations for a couple of our programs, and MD Osman, our registrar from the Office of the Registrar, is here to speak about those new programs and all of the details that go along with them. Hello, MD.
Good afternoon, everyone. IU is very proud to announce we have two new concentrations. One is Management Information System, and another one is Business Analytics. So currently for Spring Session 2, we are offering MIS 550, which is Managing Enterprise Resource Planning, and another one is MIS 560, which is Database Management Systems. So those two courses will contribute to new concentrations. Keep in mind these concentrations are available for graduate students, meaning if you are in the MBA program or the DBA program, you can take the opportunity to enroll in these courses and apply. When you apply for graduation, your degree will read MBA in MIS, or Management Information System. So if you are interested in pursuing a concentration in MIS or Business Analytics, I would highly encourage you to register for these two courses. Again, it's MIS 550 or MIS 560. To declare or to apply for concentration at the time of graduation, all you have to do is indicate on your graduation petition that you are interested to get a degree with the concentration in either MIS or Business Analytics. We will review, the Office of the Registrar will review if you have completed the required courses. So again, if you're interested in MIS or Business Analytics, pursuing any of those concentration, I would highly recommend that you take or enroll these classes that being offered. One being MIS 550, another one is 560. That'll be all for the concentration.
Thank you, MD. I have heard, also I've read some articles about how an MBA degree with an MIS concentration can really boost your pay for getting a job right after graduation. It's one of the higher ranking jobs that lead to high paying jobs right out of graduation, from what I've read. So I would recommend looking into that as well. Thanks for your time, MD. I appreciate it. Another thing we have going on that somebody from our Office of Admissions, Catherine Batres, is going to talk about is re-enrollment and re-graduation. Now, these can be some dicey subjects and kind of confusing. So KB, welcome and good afternoon. And if you could expand upon those subjects just a little bit.
Sure. Hi, everyone. So what Jordan is referring to is a new policy that IAU has created, which is effective immediately. So it's the re-enrollment and re-graduation policy. So basically what we did, or first off, as many of you may have heard, is that IAU achieved its accreditation October of last year. Okay, so technically anyone who earned a degree or any units that were earned before IAU's accreditation status, they are considered unaccredited. Obviously, we know that many of you put in a lot of hard work to, obtain your degree and complete those courses. So what we're doing, and for this very reason, is we created this policy for students who previously graduated at IAU and are interested in re-enrolling and re-graduating from a now accredited institution. So if students are interested, you don't have to recomplete the entire program. There's just a few additional courses that you will have to take in order to re-graduate. So for undergraduates, they will have to take 4 3-unit courses. Graduates in the MBA and DBA program will have to take 3 3-unit courses. And these courses have to be completed within 12 months. Okay, so there is a certain time frame that you have to complete those courses. And students can even re-enroll and basically retake a class that they've previously taken if they want to achieve a higher grade. That's also an option as well. And then basically once you complete those courses, you apply for graduation again and meet the graduation requirements. And then that will basically earn you that now accredited degree, if that makes sense. So current tuition and non-tuition fees still apply. And unfortunately, this doesn't apply for F1 students. So this is mostly directed, I would say, to our non-F1 students. And we also have a current promotional offer going on as well, where the first 100 students, we will waive the $125 application fee. So for the first 100 students, it's completely free to apply and to re-enroll. You'll basically just be paying for your classes and then graduation when it comes time for that. But that's just something new that we have going on. We want everybody to be proud of the degree that they earned at IAU. And if accreditation, makes you that much prouder, then we do hope that you guys re-enroll. And that would be it for this new policy.
Thank you, KB. That's an interesting opportunity for people to come back and make their degree that much better from IAU. Welcome back, Ellie. Ellie's here to talk about our third little current event that we're going to discuss with you. And she's, again, from our Office of Student Support. And we know that all of this coronavirus pandemic quarantine situations, studying from home, working from home, nobody knows when it's going to end. Nobody knows when they're going to get vaccinated, possibly. But we're going to give you guys a little bit more clarity on what IAU is going to be doing for the next few months. So just so you can get a feel for where we'll be by, around the fall of 2021. So Ellie, can you give us a little more information?
Yes. So for the time being, we are going to still remain online. We are, of course, paying careful attention to protocols dictated by the CDC, any government regulations going on about businesses reopening, schools reopening, things like that. For the time being, we are remaining completely, fully, 100% online for the duration of the spring term. So that includes spring session 1, spring session 2. And also for the time being, we are certain that summer session 1 will also remain online, since that goes up until June. Starting July, August, we're still going to wait to see just what the news what the news is saying about current cases, what the situation is basically with regards to the pandemic. We're hoping once more people get vaccinated and cases start going down, maybe things will shift in summer session 2, possibly still remain online summer session 2. And we're still, things are still up in the air for the 2021 fall term. Again, we're just paying careful attention to the news to see what's going on with that. For the time being, yes, for sure, spring session 2 and summer session 1 are online only. The only exception to that is for students who are brand new to IAU, who are in initial status, meaning that this is their first time coming to the US. So if they are coming from outside of the country into the US, they do have, unfortunately, there is an attendance requirement on campus. So just be aware of that. And also, apart from initial students, there's also students who had a change of status approved from a different status to an F1 status. So once again, initial students from outside of the US and change of status approved students who just changed their status to F1, those two types of students are going to be required to come on campus. However, there are safety protocols in place for our on-campus students. For the time being, there's only a handful. The classrooms are never going to exceed more than 2 to 3 students, possibly, just depending on the scheduling. And we are scheduling it accordingly to maintain social distance at all times, but definitely no more than a handful of students per classroom. Everyone is spaced apart, 6 feet minimum, things like that. So, but if you are not an initial student, and if you are not a change of status approved to F1 student, then you do not have to worry about the on-campus requirement. Meaning, if you are not new for spring session 2 and you don't fall into these categories, if you're continuing with us, everything is online for you. So I hope I clarified that and there's no confusion. But yes, for the time being, we are still online.
All right, Ellie, thank you very much for that information. And I've also seen in the chat we have a follow-up question for a question that you answered earlier. So John asks, it's about the shifting programs from ASBA to MBA. He says, are subjects taken during the ASBA program credited in case we jump or continue into, bachelor's, BBA, or MBA courses?
Yes, so if you are in the ASBA program and you graduate, you successfully complete the ASBA program, it is possible for you to transfer some of those credits that you earn in the ASBA into a BBA program only. The ASBA and the BBA program are both undergraduate programs, so those courses are used for both. However, you cannot use ASBA courses to transfer into an MBA program. An MBA program, the degree is a graduate program. So those are completely different courses. So in a nutshell, ASBA to BBA, that's fine, but not ASBA to MBA or BBA to MBA.
Got it. All right. Thank you for the question, John. All right. Let's see. There is another follow-up of taking other courses. I think this could go for you as well. Could you provide a little bit of information about the procedure of taking other courses at IAU after graduation? Oh, wait, no, this would be the re-graduation. Maybe this would be better for Catherine. Catherine, can you come back for this question right here? Hey, so yeah, this looks like it might be a question about re-graduation and re-enrollment. It says, could you provide a little bit of information about the procedure of taking other courses at IAU after graduation? Does the student need to reapply for an F1 visa, or will it be renewed?
Okay. So as I mentioned, the re-graduation and re-enrollment policy isn't applicable for F1 students. So it would only be for our non-F1 students. If anything should change, or if we can find, maybe like a way around where students can possibly take these courses and regraduate, then we will definitely let you know. But as of now, F1 students are not able to participate in this policy, or it's not applicable to F1 students.
Okay, Catherine, thank you very much. I think that answers that question. Also, thank you, Ellie, for coming back and answering your follow-up question. Okay, if there are no other questions, I don't see any more in the chat. Yeah, we can just go ahead and wrap this question and answer session up. I'd like to thank everyone again. Thank you to the students who submitted questions through the RSVP form and through the chat. Thank you to the IAU staff who showed up and answered the questions live. And remember to look out for a link that will include a recording of this whole thing on our YouTube channel within the next few days. We'll be sending that out in your emails. Oh, wait a minute. We got one more question. Let's see. When our I-94 status in our I-797 says, for example, June 2019 through the duration of status, what does that mean? Let's see. Maybe that would be someone from Office of Registrar or Office of Career Services.
Hi, I can answer this question.
All right, indeed. Thank you very much.
Let me turn on my camera. Okay, so duration of status means that you are in good standing, or as long as you are enrolled in the program. So meaning if you are, let's say, for example, you are in the MBA program, and the program length for the MBA program is 2 years. So your duration of status will be 2 years. So if you go into another program, which is more, then your duration of status or your status limit will be according to the program length. So again, duration of status means you are in good standing of your non-immigrant visa as long as your program lasts. So if your program is 5 years, your duration of status, your limit to stay in the United States and pursue education will be 5 years. That's what duration of status means. So you have your duration status means the number of years you get from pursuing the program. I hope that answers the questions.
Thank you very much, MD. And we got a couple other follow-up questions. Oh, this one's about the MD. You might want to answer this one as well. It's about the concentration. It says, to be honest, it's not clear for me. I am not allowed to take, let's say, MIS 560 database management systems. Is that based on your program? You don't think it's allowed? I'm not sure, Manuchar. Our students are allowed to take MIS 560 right now, MD?
Graduate students are allowed to take the MIS 560 that's being offered. Yes, graduate students, students who are in either an MBA program or DBA program, they can take the opportunity and pursue or enroll in these courses. So they're not prohibited.
And that would be as early as spring session 2.
Spring session 2, correct.
Correct.
Also, to add to what MD is saying, yes, definitely MBA and DBA students can take these courses, these new MIS courses, but just be aware that these count as electives. So if you have already completed your elective requirements, we will let you know whether or not you are able to take the course. But if all else fails, please email student support at iaula.edu. and let us know that you are interested in taking these courses, and we will look into your program completion plan to see if you have met the elective requirement or not.
Thank you for adding those details, Ellie. I hope that clears it up for Manuchar. And like she said, you can follow it up in the email if you need a little more information. Thank you, Ellie. All right, and we have one more follow-up. This looks like Catherine can help us out. So John's asking, what does it mean we can find another course after we graduate? I think, John, this kind of depends. This is for students who graduated prior to our accreditation. Catherine, is that kind of what he's getting at?
I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, John, but you were asking about your I-94 status, I-797 duration of status, and then would it mean we can find another course after we graduate? I'm not sure if those two questions are tied together, but yeah, basically how MD explained. Correct. The duration of status is, up until your program ends, right? So the program end date on your I-20. And if you successfully complete that program, and let's say you want to do, or you want to apply for a new program at IAU, so then your duration of status will now include that extra amount of time that you need. So let's just say you graduated MBA, now are applying for our DBA program. So your program on your CVIS record will be changed, and it will now include, those extra 4 years to complete your DBA program. So your duration of status is now from the date that you were like approved for your I-7, your change of status, up until you complete that program. Does that make sense? So it's just, you're basically relying on the program dates from your I-20, and then your I-94 is just basically from the date that you were approved for your change of status up until you finish your education, up until your I-20. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Thank you so much. Can I jump in, Jordan?
Yes, sure.
Okay, so thank you so much, Catherine, for that. So that would mean that I don't have to renew the F1 visa itself, just continuing another program, correct?
Yeah. So the F1 visa, that you would renew if you were planning on like traveling outside of the U.S., right? But if you're in the U.S., you don't plan on traveling, you know, your change of status was approved here, or for whatever reason, you don't have to renew that unless you're planning on traveling. As long as your I-20 is valid, your CVIS record is active, then you're good.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. Mm-hmm. Thanks, Jordan.
All right, no problem, John. Thank you for the question. Thanks for clearing that up, KB. And also thank you for interpreting the question better than I did. I thought it was about regraduation again. All right, everybody. Looks like we've gotten to all the follow-up questions. Thanks for the participation yet again. And look out for that email with the recording of this question and answer session. MD put another link in the chat that might be useful to you guys. And also join us tomorrow for our Student Association Valentine's Day party. You can find details about that on our social media. That should be fun as well. So everybody have a good day. This will conclude our 2021 Spring Session 1 live Q&A session. See you guys.